In January 1983, some of us gathered in New York to announce for EMI what was a most historic event, and that was the signing of David Bowie to our company EMI America. All of us in the EMI family were delighted that David had decided to choose EMI for his recording career. Today, I'm even more delighted to announce that David has re-signed to an exclusive long-term worldwide recording agreement with EMI America Records. On the 21st of April, EMI will be releasing David's new album, Never Let Me Down, which will be released simultaneously worldwide on vinyl, cassette, and compact disc. This Monday, 23rd of March, a single from that album, Day In and Day Out, will be released simultaneously worldwide. The new album, Never Let Me Down, which comprises all new material, is produced by David and Dave Richards, and will be the third studio album for EMI America. The first album, Let's Dance, which was released in 1983, has now sold over 4 million copies worldwide. At the time of its release, David undertook a major worldwide tour, the Serious Moonlight Tour. All of us are most excited that David has decided to embark on a worldwide tour in conjunction with the release of his new album, Never Let Me Down. And to talk about the UK dates, I'm happy to introduce the co-promoters of the UK tour, Harvey Goldsmith and John Giddings of Solo Promotions. And here is John Giddings.
Thank you. Directly after this press conference, tickets will go on sale for the first UK concert at Wembley Stadium on June 20. It's great for David to be back in the country, so I'd like you to welcome, live on stage, the man himself, David Bowie.
Taxes are back up, 'cause nothing makes her dance. She's gonna find us some money, honey, trying to pay the rent. That's some insurrection, what everybody's shouting about.
Thank you. Right, I'd like to bid you all good day and introduce you to my band. Carmine?
Yes.
How you doing? On bass, Carmine Rojas. On drums, Alan Childs. On keyboards, Richard Cottle. That's for over 13 and a half years worth of Carlos Alamo. And I'm very honoured to have on lead guitar, Peter Frampton. And I'm David Bowie, and you're not. Would anybody like to ask anything, he said, bemusedly. Yeah. Marvellous. But a great time, good dinner, good sound check. Next. No. Sorry? We went to school together, yeah. It wasn't in South London, it was in Bromley. Bromley Technical College. All right, me and Peter went to school. How old were you? Doesn't matter. I was around 15 and he was a bit younger than me. And Peter's father, Owen Frampton, was my art master as well. And Owen Frampton never hit me either. Although I think he felt like doing it a few times. What am I doing to look so well? Should I repeat that question so everybody can hear? You look so fit, David. What are you doing to look so well? It's very kind of you, dear. Well, I go skiing a lot. I go down to the gym, and I lead a very healthy and sane existence. Yes, sir. Yeah, I started the album about 3 months before I recorded it, so it was songs written over a 3-month period. It's very high energy, I think, compared to some recent albums that I've made, and it's very oriented towards stage and being in a small band. I'd like to add, by the way, the one member that's missing from this band is a Turkish musician called Erdal Kazilkay. You're Turkish, are you? How about that? What do you play? He's a multi-instrumentalist, and he's working with us on tour. He's working in Italy at the moment, so he couldn't make this. But we'll be 6. This, by the way, is the band that I'm working with. You are coming out? Yeah, they're coming, so we're all going out. By the way, you know, Peter is here, and Carlos is here, and all the others are here. If you've got any questions for them, you know, this is your chance. No, I never said that. I never said that at all. No, I said that I'd probably be diversifying my career, but I never said that. Also, from the same little brief thing that I saw, I think you're referring to that, it wasn't, I didn't say I was a girl in 1971, it was 1961, I said. And I didn't say lights, costumes and sex. What I said was lights, costumes and theatrical sets, with a T on the end. Also, just a minute. Right, I've done 71, sex, costumes, makeup. Oh yeah, it says the last leg of the tour would end up in Rotterdam. The tour begins in Rotterdam. Not quitting rock. Right, that's that one. Okay, next one. David. Hello, David. How are you? Oh, that's a funny question. All right, David. David, you've got fame and you've got wealth. What is left for you? I want this tour to be very successful and enjoy it. I don't know, David. It's hard. I mean, I enjoy writing everything as I'm writing it, you know. Even if I'm doing a movie thing or a video or a stage performance, whatever I'm doing at the time is the thing that I want to be doing. So I'm not really sure that I actually think about much further ahead than what I'm doing. Yes, up there. Use lots of projection. Yes. I think it's very much on the cards that we'll be alternating between large places and small places. Because I'm enjoying this. Mick and I are planning on doing something together next year, yeah. I'm not telling you. Mainly because he hasn't told me yet. Not true. I'm not. I do know what it is, but. Oh, and it's not Some Like It Hot, by the way. I've heard that mentioned, and it's forget it. Yes, sir. Somebody over here. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I need it louder. Do you mean which first album? That very first album. Yeah. Well, it occurred to me. Signal Committee occurred to me a couple of times. I can actually talk that much about the tour, that in as much as the last tour that I did, I guess quite obviously was a performance structured for showcasing the songs that I've written over the years. But this particular tour that we're doing, the songs are being chosen because they suit the performance rather than the other way around. So it's not really a big hits tour. Although we'll be playing a lot of songs that I think people would hope and expect that we'd be doing. But there will be some fairly obscure things happening. Extremely loud. I think you get the same from any New York artist who will tell you that, you know, when you're born in a place, that becomes the big one. Absolutely, of course. Yes. It will certainly, yeah, we're going to have a more concise list over the next couple of days, but the London date is not the only date anymore. I very much hope so, yeah. We're not excluding anywhere at the moment. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry? Iggy's out on tour at the moment, so I think he finishes with the Pretenders in a couple of weeks. He's been supporting with them. Then he's got a headline tour of his own. He's coming back to Europe, and they're going to Australia. He's touring until 1997, I think, at the moment. And he's due to do a recording another album later this week. When he can fit it in. Later this year, which unfortunately I can't work on. We've been talking about producers that he may be working with, but I'll probably do the album after that album, if you see what I mean. Yes, we will be working together again. Yes. It's as far as Absolute Beginners goes. Okay, I'll tell you what I think about that. I thought it was a very interesting movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I like the way that Julian works with cinema. I think he's got some interesting things to say. It was a first movie, but it's kind of, I think it's a parallel to Tony Scott in a way. You know, Tony Scott I did The Hunger with, again, because I thought he was a really first-class director. And we didn't have much luck in commercial terms with that movie, but his next movie, of course, was Top Gun. And then it's now his Beverly Hills Cops 2. And he's already sort of really firmly established director. Now everybody's saying, oh, what a wonderful director he is. And the same exact thing will happen to Julian because he's just starting his second movie next month. Yeah. Which film? Be specific. Yeah. I don't think I ever said that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me who said that I said that, and if he's here. Sorry, Dave. I very much like to direct films. I mean, as often as possible, I've collaborated on all the videos that I've done. But it's kind of a quantum leap to go from 4 minutes to 90. But obviously, one has those pretensions. Yeah, I'd like to make a movie, and I am planning on doing one. Yeah. Bands at the moment. I think the favourites at the moment are, I like The very much. I like Screaming Blue Messiahs, one of my favourites. And I still like Psychedelic Furs, but the last record I bought, I think probably was Gunshy. But I get given an awful lot. But yes, Screaming Blue, I bought your sodding record, so... Is it true I love this one. Is it true I'm going to play Frank Sinatra? Well, Frank and I talked the other day, you know, and that story, I first saw that story in about 1977 is the first time that came up, because like a damn fool, I probably said it. But since, and it's like a perennial, it comes up like every few years. Absolutely not, it's having absolutely no intention. And I did read somewhere Nancy Sinatra, but there you can't believe everything you read in the... Nancy Sinatra apparently suggested that I would be good to do the role, and I'm sort of... I think I'm flattered, I'm not sure. I'm not very good with horses' heads, but I've never had much practice. But I don't think I'll be doing that role. It's not really at the top of my list. What's all this about glass spiders? What is it you've got going with spiders, Bowie? I don't know. Spiders keep coming up in my references all the time, from, you know, obviously from the spiders from Mars. And I don't know what the Jungian aspects of it are, but I see it as some kind of mother figure. Whoa. Okay. Do you want to run with that one for a bit? So it's kind of it's the pivotal song on the album, and it's the idea of children when they eventually, there's a point in every child's life when it realizes its parents are really not something they can depend on for everything. They are kind of on their own. It's that kind of feeling, and that permeates the feeling of the show that I'm putting together. Sorry? Big glass spiders all over the place, yeah. Not telling you. Would I like to do any more theatre work? I'd love to do something. The only thing I've done in terms of drama has been Elephant Man and Bertolt Brecht's Spal for BBC 2½. But I haven't done any other theatre work, mainly because the other things that I was offered after Elephant Man were mainly revivals and things, and I don't want to do them. Peter.
Yes. What do I remember of him? Basically, I remember him being in the band at school, who played at the school fete and things like that. And we also used to get together in the art block during lunchtime and, you know, sing Buddy Holly, Eddie Cochran numbers and things like that. So that's basically it.
Yeah.
Did he behave himself? Oh, yeah. No, they didn't support me. I supported him. Yeah, he was the last act
I did
on.
support you.
Oh, in the school thing?
No, not in the school thing. You remember that concert you did with Humble Pie?
Oh, yes, that was right.
I came on and I did bits of glass. Walking upstairs and all that. I supported you then, didn't it?
Yeah, and the Humble Pie.
One-man show. That's right. Actually, it was about Tibet, yes. It's the Chinese invasion of Tibet. And a lot of radical Maoists turned up and started waving red books. I mean, Tibet is not a subject that I'd pictured in doing this next tour, no. But not a bad idea there. Yes. Enormous amount of acts are going out, yeah. No, not at all.
Why not?
Why not? Because I do my material, they do theirs with different animals in them. The stage set, I wouldn't say. I can tell you that it's the most theatrical tour I've done in many, many years. Probably as theatrical as the Diamond Dogs tour, which unfortunately I don't think I ever brought over here. But that was with sort of skyscrapers, yeah. Bad show. But it's as theatrical as that. But it's not just that. Ha-ha. Secret ingredients up sleeve. Yeah. I might I'm not going to be able to appear at that particular benefit. I think it's a marvellous thing to do, and it's very important to do. I might appearing at the International AIDS benefit on April the 1st. I will, in fact, be in America at that particular time, but it's very worthwhile doing, yes. Okay? Because it's one of the most frightening diseases that this planet has ever faced. I'm sorry? I wouldn't, how would I assess my past? I wouldn't even attempt it. There are far too many people much better than I am at assessing me and my past. What do I think when I see photographs of myself as Ziggy Stardust? I think... Carlos, what do you think when you see that?
Too thin, too thin.
Too thin, too thin. I'm very proud of all that. I think I started something that was really quite interesting and was also very amusing for a good many years. I just think it looks like a rock theatre. Is it fun? Was it fun? At the time, it was immense fun, it seems.
Heroes. Heroes was definitely the best one for me.
Just a minute, love. It's the 12:19. Go.
You read in one of your books.
One of my books. You read in one of my books. I haven't written a book.
One of the books written about you, there was a whole set made for Diamond Dogs. You make it yourself.
There was a whole set made for Diamond Dogs, and yes, set, yes, theatrical set, S-E-T, yes. It's all right, we're staying safe, right, yeah, okay. And did I make it myself? I'm sorry, love. Yeah, I designed it with a guy called Mark Ravitz. Yeah, and it was huge, and it was a bloody stupid idea because it made me bankrupt. But never mind. It's a good show. Yes, love. This one's got a bit of paper.
Cross over and as appealing for really reality as the right thing.
How is it that, if I can repeat the question and still try and sound modest, all right? How is it, am I getting the gist right? How is it that I can still appeal to young people and appeal to old fogies like me, right? I don't know. I think if anything appeals to people, it's because the intention came out of enjoyment and a purpose, and I enjoy writing my songs. I enjoy doing my concerts. I think if that's kind of, if that's real and if that's heartfelt, I think it kind of shows, you know. And if it doesn't show. I'm sorry, love? Do I get on well with children? Thankfully, I do, yeah. They don't like me much, but no. How do I combine my career with being a father, and does my son like my records? Yeah, he likes the occasional record. Yeah, he likes some of my stuff. He's got a very strong opinion of his own about everything, which is terrific. I think we get along famously. We've got a wonderful relationship, and I'm very proud to have him as my son, and I'd like to leave it at that. Thank you very much on that particular subject. Does he have a favourite band? At the it changes kind of like when I was his age. It changes weekly. I mean, he's kind of into Run DMC and Beastie Boys and all that. If he doesn't like one of mine, what? I'll just look him away. No, of course, no. There's our tracks. He's got tracks that he likes and tracks that he doesn't. Of course he does, yeah. Another question. Up again. You're no chicken, son. Do I know when I go? I'm going strong. Do I know when I'm going to stop? Who wrote that line for you? That's great. I love that. I've got no intentions of. I mean, you know, as long as I'm really enjoying my work. I mean, I'm in that luxurious position, you know, where I'm doing something that I absolutely and thoroughly enjoy. And if I'm not enjoying it anymore, I'll stop. Frankly, you know. I don't know. Will you, man? Look at Chuck Berry. I mean, it's. Look at. No, I'm gonna. You can work, I mean, any artist can keep working as long as he has some kind of integrity for what he's doing and he feels as though he's got a special purpose. You know, a painter will keep painting because he's got something to say. It's always inside him. A musician has the same feeling, a songwriter has the same feeling, and us clowns who dance around are kind of, you know, like that too. Would it alter my views if I didn't sell as many records as I did? I only started selling records on Let's Dance Chum, and I made 17 albums up until then, and I love every one of them. Of course, it wouldn't change my opinion at all. I'll just write because I like writing. I'm never disappointed in sales if it goes over 3, frankly. You want to see the figures for Low album. And then I followed it up. Is it something about Lawrence of Arabia? Sorry, dear. I got offered the role of Lawrence of Arabia. I've been offered a lot of roles, and that was one of them 3 or 4 years ago, if I remember rightly. And I wasn't interested in doing it because I think David Lean's done it really. And what makes me choose one film over another? Primarily because of the director, just about 9 times out of 10. Only a couple of instances where I've gone for something else. I think Man Who Fell to Earth, it was Nick Rogue, and then Oshima, Tony Scott, working with Julian. I mean, it's really because I admire the directors more than anything else. Yes, sir. Image. How important do I see image being? You know, it's always hard to talk about that because I've never seen it as image, you know. I mean, I've from the beginning I've been trying to create characters. It's not quite the same thing as like, is he going to be wearing comme de gosse or what? You know, I mean, I don't feel like that about it. It's like, up until recently I was constructing characters and writing songs for those characters. So image, I've never had a problem with image. Who am I now? It can now be revealed that I am, in fact, Alan Childs, the well-known drummer. It is a funny question, you know, and I don't quite know, I never know how to answer that question. Well, I'll tell you, if you look at an actor, like who's a good character actor? Robert De Niro, for instance. You know he's Robert De Niro, and when he does Taxi Driver, you know that he's not Travis, but it's Robert De Niro playing Travis. Well, it's just as simple and as naive as that with me. I take on those characters, and I'm basically something like this, but I don't usually have a microphone, but I'm kind of like this kind of guy, you know? And those other things apart. So who is the real David Bowie? I mean, I always find that an extraordinary... Mind you, from some of the things I've read, I ask myself that too, but it's not, for me, it's no problem. I'm just a guy who likes taking on interesting character work. This isn't so much a character thing. This is a very it's more in the shape of a review, if you can call rock a review. The nearest I can get to telling you without giving anything away is that there are groups of numbers that deal with a particular subject, and they're woven into a kind of a vignette. And that's how the show works. So it's groups of songs, and it adds up to some conclusion, possibly. Sorry? I'm absolutely over the moon about working with the lads and going back on the road and the album, yeah. I'm very happy indeed at the moment. 3 last questions. This lady here, she hasn't had a chance. Is there any movie actors I'd like to star with? Kim Basinger. I've got a list, hold on. Yes, sir. Have I got any plans to remarry? Absolutely none at the moment, but you never know, do you?
Can you tell us about...
No, you want... oh, no, let's get another lady.
Can you tell us about your new video? There's been some rumours that it has a few violent bits in it.
There's absolutely no violence in my new video. But we understand there's something controversial about the new video, right? No, it's not controversial. It's not made to be controversial. The backbone of the video is that it's an indictment of a particularly uncaring society, at least one aspect of the society. I don't think we dodge any blows in the movie. It's not a glam rock video, and it's not a kind of profiles and, you know, all that. It deals with it's the same weight as the song. Okay, does that answer your question?
The element of it, we were recording in a studio which was very near the wall.
I've been there, I know where it is.
Yeah, you know that studio, do you?
Right by the
Yeah,
wall.
absolutely, and there's a turret literally opposite the window, and every day when we finished our music, we used to open the windows and play it to the soldiers in the turret and see what they thought of it. And they would like that. And one day I saw a couple walking by the wall that obviously used to meet there at lunchtime or something, and it's just the image of those two people having their romance by this grey, anonymous wall and the guard turrets, and it just struck me as being a pertinent incident in the 70s at that time when I wrote it, and of course carries through to the 80s. It seemed to be very much of a nowness to it.
But you don't feel any need for building now?
You have turned 40 now, but
Yeah.
still you look 20 in your latest video. Why is that?
Okay, so do I dare repeat that? I've passed 40 now, but I still look, how old? 20. Hear that again, please? I still look 20 in my new video. How is this, please? I think that's a very flattering remark, and I'm not quite sure how to reply to that one. I'll think about it.
Java,
Yeah.
Singapore, what
Yeah.
were your impressions?
It was the Bangkok concert in Thailand, which was the very last one that we did there, was absolutely extraordinary because it was on the King's birthday. And so we were singing Happy Birthday to the King. It was the most incredible thing. And the one thing I remember more than anything else about it, other than Thailand itself, which I adore, I love traveling down to the coast and through the north, through the jungles there, it's beautiful. But going to the gig, the car broke down, so we ended up hitchhiking to the show.
Yeah?
And we got a taxi ride, and the police wouldn't let me in because they didn't think I
Yeah,
couldn't get in.
that's
There's a kind of calmness throughout them. In Thailand, there's an incredible calmness among the people that I think will be something for the West to learn from.
Have you learned from it?
I was a Buddhist for 15 minutes when I was a teenager, like every teenager.
Meditating.
That's right, yeah. I think and that experience stayed with me, I think, as if one can develop a philosophy, I think the idea of nothing manifest can last, that everything is very transient. It's not worth holding on to anything. What are you looking at?
Seeing if you're having a crucifix.
Oh, yes, I do have a crucifix.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Buddhists are not supposed to have crucifixes.
No, this one wears one. This one, this one attaches a lot of personal feelings to it. There was something was given to me by my family many years ago. I've always worn it. I don't know why. But no, it's not in my mind to marry. Thank you for asking me, madam. Hello.
When you let you down, are you afraid of people letting you down?
Never Let Me Down. The title of the album is Never Let Me Down. Is that because I'm afraid of people letting me down? No, the title song is written for a very close friend of mine, and it was just, it's a reciprocal song. If you finish the lyric, it also says, I'll never let you down. So it was a song of loyalty and of love for somebody. And because it's a fairly intimate statement, I thought that would be a good overall statement for the album in general. I'm sorry? It's a song for, who's it for? The song is for Coco Schwab, who's been my personal assistant for nearly 15 years. Sorry? Oh, you the marriage girl? Am I going to marry her? It's not a romantic relationship. She's been my best friend for 15 years. I have another girlfriend. Who's that? I'm not telling you. In the 60s, the popular music went very much hand in hand with the civil rights movement, and it changed people's awareness of the black situation. Later on, it did the same kind of refocusing, or contributed to the refocusing on the Vietnam War. And in the punk explosion in the 70s, that really changed people's, or really focused in on the economic depression that was current in Europe at the time. And then Live Aid came along, and suddenly people's attention was switched to the plight of the African nations. Now, it can never solve any problems, but rock music can certainly reactivate interest in certain areas. And it was because of Bob's work that I think made a lot of us artists realize that we can
fundamentally strive to do something with our music other than create I think that the nature of rock is changing in such a way that it can still provoke interest by things like the Bob Geldof event, the Live Aid event. But even that is changing now. There are so many things like that that the attention is less and less. So something else will happen. But it's always undergoing change.
Yes.
That's the one thing. It won't stagnate because there's too much young blood that comes into rock. Every few years, young blood comes in and revitalizes it. And that's what makes it exciting.
Och nästa vecka, då blir det så här. Jennifer Rush. Ja, det är kvinnan med rösten du aldrig glömmer. Och Singapore, det låter väl exotiskt och österländskt och ålderdomligt. Men ack vad jag bedrog mig. Och nu är det slut, så jag säger bara hej hej, hemskt mycket hej.
We are about ready for the special I've been telling you about for about a week now. It's Mark Goodman here with you tonight. David Bowie is about to embark on a long-awaited worldwide tour. And the events leading up to this Glass Spider tour have been documented in this special, Bowie Day In, Day Out. And we followed Dave and his band. I can call him Dave because, you know. We followed Dave and his band on their press conference tour from New York to Madrid to Rome as he announced the tour by debuting his band that includes Peter Frampton on guitar. This tour is Bowie's return to basic rock and roll, and the next half hour is a behind-the-scenes look at Bowie and the band as they prepare for what promises to be the rock and roll theatrical event of the summer. Besides rehearsal and performance footage, the special includes interviews with Bowie, with Peter Frampton, and with longtime bandmate and friend Carlos Alomar. There is nobody like Bowie, and now you're gonna know why. The special is sponsored by the Pepsi-Cola Company.
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. The ball game's over!
Quiet, everyone. Listen. Okay, shut up! This is an MTV feature presentation.
I was always very seriously affected by my dreams. The dream state seemed to be so potently full of images and weaknesses and strengths that I felt were contained within myself. It came through art as well when I started seeing things like movies by Salvador Dali and Buñuel and work by De Chirico. I said, yes, that's exactly how my dreams felt. And that's how I want to write, or how do you work like that? And then I started reading people like William Burroughs. I started learning about the cut-up techniques that they employed to create new ways of thinking. And I thought I'd try and apply that to writing. So that's kind of how it evolved. But it was originally because of the dream state. I found the dream state magnetic. It just captured everything for me. The time's around 2 minutes to 11. We're going to be landing at Leonardo da Vinci Airport in Rome, of course, at 11:30, which is in half an hour. I'll see you there.
Get you. Fallo bene, però, bene, bene, bene.
From Tottenham right.
I got you. Another one. Oh, it's another one. Oh, that's that one.
It was a question of creating characters up until about 1976, and at that point, when I started working with Brian Eno, my emphasis changed from creating characters for stage, but actually really getting involved in finding out more about music.
Your dressing area is going to be here?
Yeah. Now I've spent the last 10 years really sort of delving into ambient music through to narrative form music, which I seem to be back into at the moment. It seems to be pretty linear and rock-oriented. Now I'm restating what I wanted to do through theatre again on this next tour. At least for the last 10 years, it hasn't been chameleon-like. For me, it's just been me writing my music and performing my music on stage as, David Bowie, yeah. In London, once upon a time, I did a press conference to announce the Serious Moonlight tour, and it was such a drag. I mean, it felt so stiff, and I just didn't like being up there doing, like, just reading off dates. I just wanted to do something that was very comfortable this time, and I felt a lot more comfortable in a stage situation with the band with me, and hey, here we are. This is what we're like. This is what it's about. It's about music, and this is what we sound like. We're a good club band, man.
This is an opportunity for me to come out as the guitarist that everybody first saw me, like in Humble Pie. And it sort of reminds me, not the music so much, but of the feeling I'm getting of being in a very, very intense, good band. I am with another guitarist. Carlos is great, and we're very complimentary, I think.
I met Bowie back in 1973 when he was producing Lulu. He was a weird Englishman with his weird English look, and I was a New York kid, you know. I had a whole career based at the Apollo Theater with all the heaviest R&B acts. This guy, to me, was a nobody. You know, the Spiders from Mars. What the hell is a spider from Mars? I mean, that's a stupid name. No, he didn't impress me at all. I just liked him as being this English dude that was always saying, yeah, man. David doesn't tour because an album comes out, because the record company says that they want more backing on an album, because sales are down, nothing like that. He doesn't tour because he's been home, he's done other things, and now he's climbing the walls, and he wants to go out, and he's got an idea that has been burning in his head.
This is the very shop where Picasso, Picabia, El Greco et al. Usually buy all their... In fact, you thought they were dead, didn't you? No, 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 no. They're still painting, and here's the proof.
David and I met at Bromley Technical High School. I'd just gone to the school for the first year, and he was already in the third or fourth form, already in my father's class, because my father was the head of the art department there.
And here goes one of the painters of Madrid.
He was younger than me. He was about, let's see, he must have been about 12, 13 when I was 15.
How we doing?
But at the time, we used to, in the art block, that used to be like where all the musos hang out, you know. We used to bring our guitars to school.
My father would leave the art block stairs open at lunch times, and we'd smuggle the guitars in, because the art block was all stone, so it was a wonderful built-in echo chamber. So we used to sit there and sing Every Day and Peggy Sue and all that.
No, no, that's not Peter Frampton. No, please. I won't allow anyone.
Creía que era usted Peter Frampton.
Oh, okay.
Hello, David.
Hello.
When we weren't painting, we were playing guitar, and he used to come in over there and play over there, and he was just dynamite. I mean, he already at 13, he was a great guitarist. I saw this dreadful stuff happening to him in the 70s. It was all getting lost, that he was a great guitarist. He was suddenly a pop hero, and then he was a face, and he hated that. Last year, it became apparent that Peter was really back on the trail again, and I thought, that's the guitarist I'd really like to work with on this next album.
Thank you.
Well, how nice of you to turn up. I'd like to introduce my band.
On bass, Carmine Rojas. On guitar, as always, Carlos Alomar. On drums, Alan Childs. On keyboards, Dickie Cottle.
I'm very honoured to have Peter Frampton on lead guitar.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, your health, and here's a disappearing trick.
Coming to this album, I approached it from how I used to feel about bands when I start. I always go back to, when you get lost, you go back to point one. And so I approached the whole deal from what used to excite me about being in a band, and it just goes back to the guitar again. And so it became a guitar-oriented album. And as I was writing and feeling out the material, I realized it was just a tremendous album to be touring, and so the whole thing meshed together, and I put the amount of energy that I needed in to a rock album to really make it happen on stage.
Bang, bang. I got mine. Bang, bang. Sun don't shine. Bang, bang. Reach for the sky. Bang, bang. Please do all the time. Rise, baby. Bang, bang. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
David called me up and he says, Carlos, I want you to come to Switzerland to do a new album. We had the most fun doing this album that we ever had, because it was really coming back to just us.
Shaheen's Boys.
Shaheen's Boys.
I like you, Ed. I do like you. You're very good. The Stones. What? Where are the Stones?
I can't help you.
do understand each other, don't we?
The other one that I got complete freedom on was the Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, which is a performance I don't think was as successful, but it was certainly a great thing to do. Most like me, I suppose, the nerd in Blue Jean.
I'm not alone.
Is he big?
Very big.
Oh, that's all right. He'll like me. Lots of people like me. Well, not straight away, but I'll give it a couple of minutes and it's... have we? No, we haven't. Neck all.
The least like me, I guess, I hope anyway, is the hunger. I felt very uncomfortable with that role, although I loved being involved in a Tony Scott movie.
You know, John speaks before he thinks.
Is that what he does? I can't figure him out.
Please, play the Lola for me, even if it is a little saccharine.
Are you sure you're not John's father?
Quite sure.
He really made you feel tremendously sorry for that guy. He generated great pathos for that character. You really felt bad for this aging, rotting vampire. He has a natural elegance. He's truly elegant. And that comes through in all of his performances and all of his personas.
Well, I think one of the things we found out, in a way, together on Blue Jean was that he is a very accomplished, funny, comic actor. You know, often in the past, I think people had seen David Bowie as this kind of remote, myth-like, godlike character who unveiled a new mysterious image every 3 years. But one of the things that strikes you immediately when you meet him is an incredible sense of humor and wit and humor about himself.
It's nice to have you come out and see how we really live our lives, us pop singers and guitar players. I spend as many evenings as I can doing this kind of thing. It's a relaxation from the toils of being in the studios. Could I use your microphone? You want my mic?
Hey, David, it's mine.
Oh, your pen! I'm sorry. Yes, I've got it. Thought I might get away with that. But when my microphone's given up, hold on. It's yours. No. But when one's spent a few long hours in the studio, there's nothing better than walking around with 300 or 400 friends looking for a coffee.
Thinking of a different time, Palestine, a modern problem, bounty and your wealthy land, Sarah in a Bentley plan.
I've been feeling a tour coming on over the last 3 years.
Tomorrow's and the yesterdays.
I build slowly over a long time and ideas gradually creep in, and after 3 or 4 years I realize I've written a tour, and I then have the excitement to want to go out and do it.
If you pray, all your sins are hooked upon the sky. Pray and the heathen light will disappear. They hide the saddest guilt, believing the strangest things, loving the alien, and your prayers, they break the sky in two.
The reason I tour is because David asked me to tour. I often offer him my loyalty. So if he needs me to tour and he calls me, then I'll be there. He trusts me and I trust him, so that I'm his right arm, in effect, for touring situations and the like.
Loving the alien and jubilee. Loving the alien. Loving the strangest thing. Loving the alien.
See, I'm a sort of road animal. I love to play, and the way you play a lot is by touring. So it's something that I'm very at home with. I'm used to losing my toothbrush and toothpaste every other day. I'm purely there to support David on this one. Well, he's told me nothing about what I'm supposed to be doing once we get out of rehearsal. Everybody loves when he does the big productions and everything, and try and work out what he is this time. It's just going to be something quite spectacular, and to be honest, what little I know I can't really say anyway, because otherwise it wouldn't be a surprise.
The last time that I did a show was 1983, and it was virtually a showcase for the songs that I've written over the last 18, 20 years. The show that I'm doing this year will be very, very theatrical compared to that last show, much more like the shows that I used to do in the early 70s. I've been working on the ideas for the last 6 months. It's more like if you can get anywhere near a rock and roll review, it's somewhere in there. It's going to be rock theatre. It'll be a lot of fun. I can't tell you any more at the moment. Oh, it won't be a surprise, man. But it's a mighty big show. Yeah, I'm better off, you know. I'll tell you what, let's go from Erdal's trumpet solo in the middle.
We're a talented job. Is that right? We never bothered to scream when your mask went on.
that up. Go, let's do the first verse or two. The first two verses. All right, go from the top.
I saw a black stream full of white-eyed fish and a drowning man with no eyes at all. I felt a warm, warm breeze that melted metal and steel. I got a bad migraine that lasted 3 long years, and the pills that I took made my fingers disappear. Time will grow, till the 21st century looks.
David Bowie var namnet. Han är här för att göra lite PR för den sommarturné som han ska göra och som bland annat ska ta honom till Ullevi i Göteborg. Och som väntas så blev det stor uppståndelse på gränsen till hysteri när det kom till presskonferens.
David Bowie är i stan. Det finns de som tycker att han är störst av alla. Kompositören, sångaren och musikanten som har hållit på sedan 64 i popbranschen. Han slog igenom 69 med Space Oddity och fortfarande är han oerhört populär. Över 400 journalister och fotografer infann sig idag när han gjorde ett PR-framträdande för sin senaste LP, Don't Let Me Down. Och för en världsturné som börjar i maj och slutar i december. Jag kommer till Sverige i juni också, tror jag, sa David Bowie, nu 40 år gammal.
Yes. Am I going to marry again? No, it's not in my mind to marry. Thank you for asking me, madam.
Han är mångsidig. Han har bytt musikstil flera gånger. Han var en av de första som gjorde popvideo till sin musik. Han har spelat in flera filmer, inte allt för framgångsrika, men han gillar att göra film.
What do I like best, acting in films or writing music? Acting in music and writing in films, I suppose. I think both they complement each other.
På presskonferensen idag fick han också en fråga om AIDS.
How will AIDS affect rock? I demand you ask every rock singer who comes through Sweden this same question. I think it's, well, as I just said, if I were to change my girlfriend, I would definitely take an AIDS test. If I were to meet a girl whose sexual history I had no knowledge of. If you have any other really important questions about AIDS, I really think you should address them to your doctor.
Om sin senaste LP sa han så här.
Basic rock and roll sound, the kind of thing that I was doing in the early and middle 70s in terms of musical construction. So it's very simple and very direct in those terms. I think when you're sort of re-evaluating what you're doing, you always pull back. And what I'm doing with this album.
Och så sjöng han Day In, Day Out.
Här är mer om...
I was always very seriously affected by my dreams. The dream state seemed to be so potently full of images and weaknesses and strengths that I felt were contained within myself. It came through art as well when I started seeing things like movies by Salvador Dali and Buñuel and work by De Chirico. I said, yes, that's exactly how my dreams felt. And that's how I want to write, or how do you work like that? And then I started reading people like William Burroughs. I started learning about the cut-up techniques that they employed to create new ways of thinking. And I thought I'd try and apply that to writing. So that's kind of how it evolved. But it was originally because of the dream state. I found the dream state magnetic. It just captured everything for me. money.
It was a question of creating characters up until about 1976, and at that point, when I started working with Brian Eno, my emphasis changed from creating characters for stage, but actually really getting involved in finding out more about music.
Your dressing area is going to be here.
Yeah. And now I've spent the last 10 years really sort of delving into ambient music through to narrative form music, which I seem to be back into at the moment. It seems to be pretty linear and rock-oriented. Now I'm restating what I wanted to do through theatre again on this next tour. At least for the last 10 years, it hasn't been chameleon-like. For me, it's just been me writing my music and performing my music on stage as, David Bowie, yeah.
I met Bowie back in 1973 when he was producing Lulu. He was a weird Englishman name. No, he didn't impress me at all. I just liked him as being this English dude that was always saying, yeah, man. David doesn't tour because an album comes out, because the record company says that they want more backing on an album, because sales are down, nothing like that. He does a tour because he's been home, he's done other things, and now he's climbing the wall, and he wants to go out, and he's got an idea that has been burning in his head.
David and I met at Bromley Technical High School. I'd just gone to the school for the first year, and he was already in the third or fourth form, already in my father's class, because my father was the head of the art department there.
He was younger than me. He was about, let's see, he must have been about 12, 13 when I was 15. But at the time, we used to, in the art block, that used to be like where all the musos hang out, you know. We used to bring our guitars to school.
My father would leave the art block stairs open at lunch times, and we'd smuggle the guitars in, because the art block was all stone, so it was a wonderful built-in echo chamber. So we used to sit there and sing Every Day and Peggy Sue and all that.
No, that's not Peter Frampton. No, please. I won't allow anybody.
Creía que era usted Peter Frampton.
Oh, okay.
Hello, David.
Hello.
When we weren't painting, we were playing guitar, and he used to come in over there and play over there, and he was just dynamite. I mean, he already at 13, he was a great guitarist. I saw this dreadful stuff happening to him in the 70s. It was all getting lost, that he was a great guitarist. He was suddenly a pop hero, and then he was a face, and he hated that. Last year, it became apparent that Peter was really back on the trail again, and I thought, that's the guitarist I'd really like to work with on this next album.
Thank you.
Coming to this album, I approached it from how I used to feel about bands when I start. I always go back to, when you get lost, you go back to point one. And so I approached the whole deal from what used to excite me about being in a band, and it just goes back to the guitar again. And so it became a guitar-oriented album. And as I was writing and feeling out the material, I realized it was just a tremendous album to be touring, and so the whole thing meshed together. And I put the amount of energy that I needed in to a rock album to really make it happen on stage.
Bang, bang. I got mine. Bang, bang. I'm gonna shine. Bang, bang. Reach for the sky. Bang, bang. Raise them all the time. Rise, baby. Bang, bang.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
David called me up and he says, Carlos, I want you to come to Switzerland to do a new album. We had the most fun doing this album that we ever had, because it was really coming back to just us and not all the outside influences of being in New York at the power station, gigantic studio, and having ex musicians coming in to do something. So it was very, very much us, you know, which was great.
I made everything before we went in, and I played them to everybody. I said, I want it to sound exactly like this, but better.
When David comes to you with the tapes and stuff like that, demos like that, they're all very rough. Rough, real rough.
It produced the kind of sound that I really felt was me, because I was playing some of the stuff on it, and I was kind of giving it some kind of foundation, either the keyboards or a particular kind of rhythm guitar that I play, which is not like Carlos's, but it works, you know. I mean, it's not great, but it works.
In the studio, David knows exactly what he wants. I wouldn't say that he's over-demanding or anything. He will suggest and then leave it up to you. He's got you in there because he knows what you can do, and he thinks he can point you in the direction he'd really like you to go. So I think we had a laugh, really did. It was 10 days of good times, which is when good music is made.
The first thing that you notice in the difference is David's voice. He sounds marvelous. He sounds refreshed. He's singing very high as he did before, as opposed to that very low baritone that he always has. This lends itself towards us being able to have a different, higher energy music.
Change the cycle.
The subject matter generally, if I can preface that with the subject matter generally on the album, seems to be split between personal romance, personal feelings of love, and some kind of statement or indictment of an uncaring society on this, particularly the response to what's happening in major cities in terms of the homeless.
Yeah.